Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me to here. My name is Takashi. It's one of the member of the teamLab. Maybe people doesn't know like who we are. So a little bit explain it's teamLab. And the teamLab is actually for me also. I came from Tokyo. The teamLab is around 500 members. And it's 80% of us is like we call the specialist. We are different type of programmers and CG animators and software engineer, hardware engineer, architect, mathematicians, and we make teams and make an output. And we are represented by a PACE gallery, and we are doing some like art activities. That is what we are doing. So anyway, we are an art collectives, and it's making some by digitals. So I try to show you a little bit what we are doing. Actually, what we are doing is we are making it by digitals. Can I make it a little bit sounds? And this is it's called crystal universe. And when we create something, it's by digitals. We are making by 3-dimension. It's an object. But when we try to show it in a 3-dimensional object on somewhere, like in a screens, it's going to be on 2Ds, as like an X and Y. But what we wanted to do is in a 3D object as 3D. So we made an X and Y and Z. So you can be inside with it, like an artworks, or it's like sculpture by its dot of lights. So this one is some kind of installation. You're going to be inside with its universe. And how to make it quite many effect is people connected to the internet. You're going to choose some things and just swipe, and it's going to affect to the space. So it's an old element of the space is made by its peoples. So that is like one of the things. And as we also do you have its sound here? I hope. So anyway, this is like a swimming pool we made. So like you're gonna be inside with it a swimming pool, and inside of that pool there is a koi. It's a carp. It's a fish, and it's having the AI. It's not repeatable. It's like the movies. Koi is sometimes they come to you, and sometimes they run away from you. But anyway, if you touch with them, they died, and it become flowers. So all the things is it's never happened as things. It's always just one times you're gonna see it. It's now in this room there is just 2 persons, but if you just imagine if there is like 20, 30 people, it's gonna be much more. It's like a complicated situations, and in the end, this koi is started to drawings on waters. Now it's just only 2 people, so it's become like a very simple shape. But if there is like 30, 40 people, it's going to be like more like complicated drawings. And the thing is like a real time it's action painting of it. It's like a Jackson Pollock. So that is what we made, and it's still we don't have its sounds, but there is sounds too. And this one is also what we made in Milan Expo at the Japan pavilions. And what we made, there is the movies. Like we try to explain it in Japanese. It's a rice field, and we made it like very flexible with the screens. It's like a lotus flowers. So you can be inside with it, like the movies, and it's all the thing is changed by people's behaviors. So for example, this is like springs, and this is waters. And sometimes it is waters, but when you enter that, the from the people, it's become rice field. So it's people's behavior is going to be, it's a trigger for its next timelines. So this is not like in a movie of it's like 2 hours, just only, it's just showing that. It's always, it's a difference from the other people's. So the things is, what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring the people to be one part of its artworks. That is one of the things. And this is, I really need the sounds, actually. Do you have it? because this one is, we made it some kind of a installation, but it's in Tokyo. We made some as like it's like the music festivals. That's the reason why we need the sounds. So this one is, we made it, oh yes. So you can make it a little bit smaller, and this is a little bit too big. So anyway, there is no specific DJ and a specific musician to play the live music. What we made it covered by moving lights, and we sensing all the space. So it's when the people are, yeah, you can be up. You can be inside of the rooms, and when you touch the lights, it's an instrument. So it's like this is a space itself. It's become like it's an instrument. So there is no specific DJ and musicians, but it's a behavior of the people. It's going to be changed. It's in the music. So there is like 30, 40 more, like 500 members. People it came, and it's people going to make the sounds. And of course, the thing is, we can create out it, any kind of a sculpture or actually it's like an architect. This is like it's a Roman like a Colosseums, but it's made by lights. And we controlled and programmed by its line of lights using its moving light. And its light is something it's we feel like kind of material, but it's you can be entered, so there is no doors, and it's an entrance, anything, and you can be inside. And now it's weird. I'm showing you guys it's by 2Ds, but what we wanted to do is you're gonna feel on 3-dimensional it's an experience. So it's next time so we made this. You can be inside of that, and it's technically we can show any kind of the shape. It's using of this line of lights. So it was like a cross-section of the Romans. But we can make it like in a cathedral or it's a caves, and they are moved, and you're going to be inside of little things. So technically, anything that we can make it, and it's for example this one too, and there is some kind of floating balls, and inside of the world it's completely independent, but they are controlled connected by its network behind. So you can see it's back side it's green, and this side it's blue. And they are moving in real times, but in real times we sensing where it is, the ball is. So it's a dot is moving, but in the same times they can be some kind of screens. So and it can be inside there is shock sensors. So when you touch it, it's going to be like an instrument. So I little bit would love to explain about our concept of our digital artworks, and this is transcending boundaries. What we can do is this one is last year. We showing Pace London. It's our represented in the galleries. There is actually 6 different independent artworks. There is monitors, and it's waterfalls, and it's flowers, and each artwork is completely independent, but they are affected to each other's. And for example, like if you stand up on floors, the water is shaped around you. So like the water is also simulated by like water simulation in real times. So it never happens at the same. It's like waters, but it's always different. And this water is flush away of the flowers. So artworks and artworks is also affected each other's. And if you didn't move, you're going to create a new life, like flowers or butterflies. And this butterfly, of course, you can touch and you can kill it. And it's also, this butterfly is flying from the screen to the monitor. It's seamless. It means, like there is no boundary. It's, like we are using it, this one is, oh, sorry, maybe this. Yeah, okay. So this one is, we made it, like in the tea ceremonies. And this artworks, it's not even exist. It's when the served is a tea. Inside of the tea, its artwork is showing up. It is like flowers, and it's always a different flower is going to showing up. It's not always. And when you try to drink the tea, a flower is stuck on the table and died again. And it's as long as you have it's a tea inside of the teacup. It's a new life is gonna showing up. And it's when you are drinking everything, it's an artwork is also gone. But it's we think it's what we wanted to do is our human beings, or it's like the tea is also it's one of the cycles. It's like a tea is no more inside of the teacup, but it's like it exists inside of you. And its artworks is also you have experience. So it's maybe it no exist anymore, but it's still its work. And it's we making it restaurant in Tokyo. So when you come to in the Ginza in Tokyo, it's maybe come there just in the 8 seat per night. So it's very hard to book it. But it's every month it's different. It's artworks going to showing up. We actually it's a sensing of this dish. It's a shape of its plate and its colors and the food. And it's all the object. It came from this dish. It's for example, it's this one is we sensed it and the butterfly going to showing up. And the butterfly is try to find in the flowers. So there is an 8 seat. Sometimes people don't know each other, but it's when you're in the same leaders, you're gonna connect it in somehow because it's what I made. It's the butterfly. It's the butterfly gonna stop on in someone it's in the flowers. So actually, this is what why we are making it digital art. This is a kind of this very fundamental concept of this our digital art. This is it's called Flower and the People. We're showing at the Search Gallery in London. It's this artwork is the flower is showing up and died. This is based on the algorithms. So for us also, we cannot control it. They were born and die, and it continues. And every 5 minutes, it's a difference. It's a flower when showing up. It's in January, February, March, and it's in 1 hour as like the 1 year. And the point is, if you didn't move, the flower going to showing up, and if you touch them, you can accelerate their life. So it means you can kill again. And it's somehow we Japanese is loving the most beautiful moment is the dying times. So so anyway, it's the things is like the first time is when we showed in this flower and the people, it was at Japan Society in New York. And it's fortunately or unfortunately, we didn't expect too many people going to come because we are unknown, and I think it's almost nobody knows us in here too. But it's it was 2013, so we thought nobody knows us, so nobody going to come on the opening days. But fortunately, it's too many people came, and it means like too many people inside of these rooms, and it's killed all the flowers. So like in 5 minutes, nothing happened, and all the flower was not showing up. And I still remember this guys, and he came to me and he asked me, I think that I understand of this concept, and maybe too many people inside these rooms, and we have to make some kind of new life. And he asked to the other peoples to be moved to the another rooms, and try to make the space for the other peoples. And after that, flowers showing up, and it was somehow a very beautiful moment, and even for us, it's kind of turning point to think about that, of this and what we can do through the digital art. Maybe we can change over this relationship between the human and the humans. And the thing is, this is the most famous in artworks. This is also one of my favorite artworks, and it is very known by the perfection of its beauties, right? And also it's too many people in front of that. And we think, I think Mona Lisa is a beautiful masterpiece, but this isn't a perfection too much. So we cannot touch it. So relationship between the art and the human is one by one. How I feel is important. So fundamentally, existence of other people is annoyed us. So like if you're with too many people, little bit you feel I want to see by myself. But our artworks, you're gonna be one part of this beautiful beauties, because with its interactivities, and even digital art is not exist. And this is like we can be interactions, and it's a person is going to be one part of it in artworks. So you can enjoy by yourself, but in the same times, you can be more enjoyed with other people. For example, like the kids, if they're inside with our museums, they're going to create more flowers, and they're going to make it more beautiful feelings. And this is kind of positive things. And it's one more thing. Actually, this is a fact. As I told you, it was installing on such galleries. It was very hard to install, as always. And it's like 2-3 days I didn't sleep. And it's just 2 hours before this opening of our such galleries. We finished the installings, and I passed out, and I slept on the floors. And my members is very kind to me, so they didn't wake me up. And after openings, I was 38 years old, and 3 days I didn't go back in the hotel, no showers, and it just passed out on the floors. And the people came inside of our artworks rooms, and they actually took pictures of me. And 2 hours I didn't sleep. Yeah, and maybe people thought yeah, exactly. Maybe I was died, so it's the most beautiful moment. So 2 hours I didn't move. So there was so many flowers, and wow, people are taking the picture and it's uploaded on the Instagrams, and everybody said how beautiful, and it's good, and it's share it. And things as if just imagine I'm 38 years old, and it's 3 days, no shower, no hotel, sleeping in front of the Mona Lisa. What's going to happen? It's maybe 2 seconds. Security kick me out. But I think like if you are one part of the beauty, we can be a little bit positive to the other people. As regular people, it's a positive even for this 38 years old guy passed out on the floors. And anyway, this one is you can see it. It's our art educational. Yeah, I think there is a little bit more times, so I can see. It's what we are making. It's like the digitals, and for us, it's like a paint is light, and the canvas is everywhere. So we made it like some art exhibition inside of the middle of nowhere in Tokyo, in Japan. There is just 40,000 people living around the whole areas, and this is like a forest, 500,000 square meters. It's small, but it's and it's daytimes it's a normal forest, but at night times it's become like completely a metamorphosed to the digital art museums. So people are hiking like 2.5 hours, and it's walking around in the natures, and they're gonna see some artworks, and you're going to be one part of that. And technically, we can make it this art experience at anywhere, because our artworks is not destroy anything. This is light, so we can digitize the natures. And maybe we annoyed a little bit of these animals, but we didn't destroy any nature of that. And it's the same way. We can create of the cities also. It's what we want is. If digital art could make it change the relationship between the human and the human, it's much more positives. We really want to make it a city itself by digital art, and this one we made on an installation in Singapore, and this is in our like a permanent exhibition in there. It's called the Marina Bay Sands Art Science Museums. This is also you connected to the internet. You cannot maybe read it, but this is the Chinese characters, and you choose the flowers and just swipe, and what's going to happen is it's going to be on a wall, and this flower is going to showing up there, and our dreams is like if people are living inside of the digital art, or if people are living inside of the beauties, maybe we can be a little bit positive to the other peoples than today's. Like now, I'm living in Tokyo, and Tokyo is too huge, and it's complex, and nobody feel we can change it because it's very fixed. But if we are living after that, we are a little bit negative to the other peoples. But like our creativities, or our dreams, or art is always free from anything. And if you are living inside with beautiful things, maybe we can be very positive to the others. That's what we wanted to do. So anyway, this one is, we're just, making it, exhibition in, actually I cannot always pronounce, but it's called a Parc Lablette. And Parc de Lablette, and that's all the limit. It's kind of transcending boundaries. It's an English names, but it's 15th of May. Just a couple of days ago we opened. That's the reason why I was in Paris, and there's a flight to here, and it's open until it's September. So if you have times, just another 3-4 hours flight to there. So if you have times, please come. And we're gonna open. It's 10,000 square meters. It's in our own museums in Tokyo, in June 21st. So it is permanent, 10,000 square meters, all digital art. So if you're gonna come to the Tokyo, please visit us. I'm so sorry. It's 21 minutes. Sorry, I over 20 minutes.
Takashi Kudo. You know, as we have Australia and Israel participating in the Eurovision Song Contest, I hope one day Tokyo will become the European capital of culture. Do we have questions for Takashi?
We have one question on the app for Takashi.
Yeah.
So question for Takashi, how interactive digital platform can develop long-term relationships between artists?
The artist, it means you mean the artist, right? And things is we teamLab, it's an art collectives, and it's me. I studied all the philosophy and it's literatures, and it's all our founder is like a background in physics, and it's robotics, and it's something else, and we are not educated by art, and the things is this is just my opinions, but everybody can be in practice. And everybody can make something to make it, the better world. And what is an art is, just my opinion, is art is something that we can change people's mind or its way of thinking. Because we human beings, it's a logical creatures. We always fall in love with somebody's, or we are buying some clothes. It's not by logic. We feel this is cool, or it's beautiful, or it's something else, and we fall in love and buy it, or do some things. So the only art is very pure part can reach to the people's heart. It's something we cannot explain by words, and what we are making today. We teamLab. We don't know if this is art or not. It's going to be decided on 50, 60 years later, and if the world is going to follow our things. And one more thing is maybe the art and the design. What is the difference? Is art is more like questions, and design is answers. And there is so many questions to the world. And now if there is many new society after digital era, we can ask to the peoples. And if it was like the right questions, it's going to lead to many peoples. And design is answer. If somebody there is some good question, you have to think about some good answers. That's going to be a good designs. But an art is there is we don't know what is a good questions, and it's maybe later people gonna decide. And it's interactive digital platform is that is just only one element of the digitals. And we are not media artists. We don't care. It's a digital and technology is just only tool and the materials for us. We have something that we want to explain it, and we're using the digitals. So I don't know if I could answer her good questions, but
do we have some more questions?
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Is it possible that technique to be implemented to the other artworks?
Thank you very much. Your art is amazing and meaningful. And I want to ask, how many members are in your team?
It's 500 members, but actually each project we have is 15 to 20 to 70, 80. It very depends on the project. We always in making it team works, because something we cannot. We try to make something that we cannot explain by words, so we never use it in a presentation inside of our companies. It is like a joke. It's like if you could explain the joke by words or PowerPoint, that joke is already dead. So it's what we are doing is we are making a prototypes or it's plot rooms with teams, and it's try and error and try and error, and let's make that. So we always making like members like 15, 10. Sometimes 30, 40. And it's, this question is, our artwork is, we can, of course, this is the programs. It's even not exist. We can copy and paste. It's, not only second artworks. It's, we can create all this, anything. And it's, yeah. And it's, it is very adaptable for its space. So, yeah, it is possible.
We have one more question there.
Influence are awesome.
Thank you very much. It's, you are awesome too.
One more, yeah, please.
Monica, great work. Congratulations. And
Thank you very much.
Just one question about how you meet your team, how you start everything. Because to create these things, you need the people who is thinking the same like you. So how you collaborate? How was the starting point? Because this is very important, and collaboration work is always very difficult.
Yes, it's, if I said it's in a very short words, it's, we have like a same laughing point if I compare with the jokes. And the things is, another point is like when we create something, we need it's a special skill set. It's, for example, like when we create something, it's we need some kind of sensings, and it's if we require some sensors, there is many different type of sensors, laser range, or it's like UV sensor, or it's like a webcams, or it's any kind of stuff. But it's like sometimes we require of it some special skill set, and it's if he or she had the same kind of laughing point, and it's enough skill set, they're gonna join us. And it's, we are still 500 members. If you compare with like a huge company like Google, we are like super small. Like we are, it's, on the internet world. It's as like it's a movie like 300. It's we just 500 members, so it's it's very very small.
And you probably have the same approach towards death and rebirth.
Yeah, it's maybe in
Okay.
the end we're gonna die.
Takashi Kudo, domo arigato.
Thank you very much.